Hey, nice iPhone 5S you got there, you might be saying. Well, fuck you again, because no, that's an iPhone SE. Now, aside from that little tidbit, this thing is pretty cool. It was released in 2016 as a low-budget iPhone. This was the first ever SE, and I do have an SE 2020, but this one literally just has a hole in it. But since this thing is from 2016, and the year is 2026, people are now reminiscing of 2016. Remember, it wasn't always bright, fun, chill vibes. LA 2016. Let's boot this thing up. Now I waited a long time for the battery to come. I reset this thing. Oh, and also I forgot to mention there's a little crack there. Because I'm pretty stupid at repairing stuff like this. Now meanwhile I'm continuing to do stuff, I'm going to say that I own one of these. Not this one, but I actually own this one. I had it from August 8th, 2023 up to like January 10th, 2024. You can tell between that I was kind of rage quitting. Continue. Touch ID. I'll be showing you what I'm gonna do to this phone later. We're not gonna be using whatever iOS version this is. If it is lower than iOS 15, I will be saving the SHSH blobs on it. Screen time. Wait, do you notice something isn't that like iOS 13? Oh god. Be getting those SHSH blobs. Don't worry. iPhone analytics. I'd rather. Oh, and there we are. This is an older version of iOS, you can tell. This may be iOS 13 or 14, not really 15. But look at that. Wait, what version of iOS is it? Ahem. It seems like we have encountered iOS 14.6. But enough of that. Let's see how it is on like iOS 14. Now, I don't have that great of Wi-Fi, so it's gonna take a bit to install this. But let's see if anything works to this day. Ah, look. It still works to this day. Just pre-iOS 16. Something about it, man. Good grief, this looks nice. But yeah, now we have shortcuts too. I think that was introduced to iOS 14. No photos or videos. Well, let's take one. Cause what the fuck do you mean I can't take a photo? I can take a photo of a black image. It's now basically a Nokia 6021. I'm gonna have to open this thing up again! So, I repaired this thing. It's back. It's been a day and I've like fixed it. And you know what was the problem? The rear camera wasn't working. Apparently some like weird crack in the ribbon cable of the whole thing just made the whole thing not work at all. Not even the front camera. So like this whole phone's logic is if one camera shits itself, the other will too. So now let's do a video test and like a photo test too. So as you can see, it now works. You can see my very terrible setup. Lighting doesn't work too well. I mean, it's okay, it's like a budget phone from 2016. What are you gonna do about it? Let's do a little video test. So this is how video is on the iPhone SE 2016. Pretty nice. You have the recording thing. You have a laptop that's doing it all. Sometimes even uploading too. And look at that, the terrible iPhone SE 2020. Nice. Yeah, let's get back. Now, one thing I want to do with this phone here is, you know, as I've said in the intro, people are pretty nostalgic about 2016 and everything now that it's like 2026. What if I brought 2016 back to this phone? Well, there's a tool called Turnus Merula, which lets you do that. But the problem is, if you look to the left, you can see that it's a Windows computer. Where am I gonna source a Linux computer from? Or a Mac? Well, first off, I'm not Hackintoshing this thing. Second off, I won't support Turnus Merula because that shit's too old. So, I've come up with a solution. You know the deal. It's always this laptop that saves the day. So, yeah. Now, right now it's running on Windows XP, but if we do a little bit of like changing the hard drive out, so let's get our tools. We need these four things. Probably I hope this computer works with Ubuntu, because I'm putting 22.04 on this. It's always nice seeing a Windows Vista product key. Steal this one, buddy. What are you gonna do with Home Basic, huh? Now we're just going to unscrew. Honestly, I kind of like this laptop for its repairability because it's just so easy to get the screws out of this whole machine. Yeah, I'm sorry, I can't use my iFixit thing right now because that's in rehab. And now we have the SSD. Look at that. You have to go through 7 billion screws to do it on my modern laptop. The strike zone. So what Turdus Merula does is it hijacks the SCP and like gives the iPhone a doctor's note telling it that, you know, the iPhone should boot up no matter what to iOS, whatever version I want to put on it. Also, before I do anything, I will also back up the SHSH blobs. Slide that in there and put that in there. Alright, so now I have to create a USB for this. I'll be back in a bit. So here's the USB. Now let me set this camera angle. Hey, look! We got the laptop open, as you can obviously tell. Now we're just going to stick this USB in there and hope for the best. We always press the magic number, F12. Entering boot menu. Grab. I'd like to try or install Ubuntu. What? So I'm back. I got 20.04 beta, and I've also prepared TSS Saver. The big conclusion is Linux just sucks for stuff like this. It just sucks. I can't do nothing. So that has led me to doing something that I want to do. It didn't have to come this far, but that computer right there is currently recording the audio as you see in Audacity. Well, this is the only GPT device I have, meaning it's the only device I can install macOS to. But you might be asking, how the hell are you gonna get macOS on there? Well, OpenCore exists. So I do already have a pre-built EFI. I do already have like the Mac recovery thing, but I just need to have the like unplug thing. If you don't know what unplugged is, it's basically like, you know, for example, there's like Windows ISOs, like ISOs for everything. Well, macOS also has it for like recovery and stuff when you don't have internet connections. And since my internet connection is worse than a piece of hot dog barbecue conducted as a lab experiment, I will be doing unplugged. So I have concluded that this laptop just sucks at the moment for stuff like this. It doesn't want to work, okay? It just doesn't work. So I'll be back in a bit once I have macOS set up. I think I'll even have like a screen recording if I can, or like, you know, the RAM can let me. Do you notice an app or two? Yeah, now you do. But let me tell you how I got to that point. Cue the cloud music. So number one, Linux didn't work. It was just basically a shit show at that point. The LS Pro 1501 and Linux mix like oil and water, but they are both oil, so somehow they don't mix both together, no matter if you use like the LS Pro 1501 on Windows. I mean, it won't even work on Windows, you know? Anyway, so I had to improvise. I had to Hackintosh this thing, which took me like waiting and having to grab all of this and that. So I had to Hackintosh my entire laptop just to get to that point. And that's not even the craziest part. Like, the internet speeds are ass because the Wi-Fi chip that I have isn't even supported on this Hackintosh. Plus, I do not want to pay another $2,000 for an MW300UM. That's just insane. Insane. Do you get it? Insane. Also, don't worry. I finally saved the SHSH blobs for this thing, so we can actually continue with our installation of iOS 10. Now, first, I'll be trying out iOS 12. Because, according to my manufacturer date, literally, the first release of iOS 12 is the least and oldest supported iOS version it can handle, according to the manufacturing date, which was week 33 of 2018, right out the corner of September 2018, which means iOS 12. So I put the last release of iOS 12 on a USB stick and put it onto this very real MacBook. As you can tell, this is totally a MacBook and not a Dell Inspiron 153567. But yeah, I had to install Cydia because no other way it would work. And yeah, it finally worked and everything went well. I am pretty happy. But there's a problem now. Since what we're doing is tethered, we need to improvise a bit. So, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and open up Tooltools Marula, start a recording, and like follow a tutorial. Yes, I know. I know. Following a tutorial is basically like cheating, but I don't give a shit. But fuck you! I already had to go through OpenCore. Having to update the keys, having to do this, having to do that, having to install macOS. So let me just follow a tutorial, okay? Let's follow a tutorial. So now I'm here in the screen recording right here, as you can tell by the OBS thing. DFU mode is very easy. I just have to like do a little bit of a sequence here, you know. It's now in DFU mode. Hell yeah! Go to that directory, okay. That's fairly easy to do. Let's just do that. We're going to like resize this. Okay, so I have to do that stuff. I have to go up and get a link. You can ignore this warning, okay. We're trying iOS 12.4.2 first for this whole thing. SHSH, bad pattern. Was. Okay, now we are done doing that, I guess. Ah, look at that. Pwn stage setup failed. Oh. Yeah, checkmate. Oh! We are so back. We are so back. So we need to get SHC block thing, which means I need my IPSW now, and I need to do it now. I'm gonna check if I did the good right. Bin Tooltools Marula, yeah. The SHC block. I just need IPSW. Okay, I just have to type in that. I see it. Y'all see it? Checkmate! Yeah, it's gonna go into recovery. I believe that. So we need to go back in there and do it. So how's it gonna do that? The SCP. Capital? It was sensitive, yeah. I don't care, I have already recovered any data that, like, I wanted. Personalizing, okay. It's now getting the image 4 thing. Okay, yeah, it's now turned off. And it's probably somewhere. Ah! There we are. Process will start. Okay, let me do it. I just need the PT block. And I'm going to bed. I'm sorry, but I'm going to bed after this. So do we have the PT block now? Oh, hell yeah. Alright, so we are back and it is the next day. So let's boot into iOS 12. Don't worry, we're not gonna hang on iOS 12 and call it a day unless the iPhone restricts me to only using iOS 12 as our base. I guess if we could go down to iOS 10 and even down to iOS 9 if we can. But, you know, that's for another time off camera. We'll do it on iOS 10. But yeah, I'm gonna mess around with iOS 12 later off camera. But for now, we'll get iOS 10 on this. But first, we'll see if iOS 12 runs on it. Because I have, like, a lot of plans. Anyways, without that out of the way. So last night I got a PT block. So now we need to CD back into Turdus Merula, the folder. So now we are in the bin, I guess. Let's connect our iPhone. Yeah. I was right, it was going to boot into recovery. Thank you iTunes, but no. Now, I just need to boot the device, toilet paper. I mean, okay, we're just getting like the PT block. We are now booting into iOS 12, preferably. We're gonna wait. Have to do that every time since tethered is, so it's gonna go and do its own thing. Hopefully it boots into iOS 12. so good if it's gonna boot to iOS 12. Hello. Hello. We are in iOS 12. I told you to eat ass. Holy shit. This is iOS 12, guys. iOS 12 looks so good. Okay, I need to set stuff. But look at that. Isn't that so beautiful, iOS 12? I can feel the happiness oozing. Yeah, this is like, you have those widget things. Myself. Okay, I'm gonna mess around with iOS 12 off camera and then see how I like it. And I'm gonna mess around with iOS 10 on camera. Okay? I'm not gonna like mess around with iOS 12 on the camera. I will tell you my experience of using iOS 12 on something like this. But yeah, I'll come back once everything is fine and stuff. So basically, yeah, I'm sorry. I had to like I'm gonna delete it for another day right now. I have to like delete for another day. Then what's next? You're gonna delete it for like an entire week. What's next? You're gonna publish it in May, huh? You're gonna publish it in 2027, huh? This is a whole year long project, huh? Huh? You're releasing once the sun explodes, huh? No, no, because this whole thing is like a problem now. So number one, iOS 12.4.2. It's great. It's great, no. Yeah, it is. I pretty much have fun in it with it. But YouTube and Twitter didn't work. And you notice how you can install Cydia when you're like, trying to do stuff like, doing Tethered. So you have to install Cilio via Chimera. Chimera, how do you say it? Chimera? Chimera? Chimera. Just starting Tethered, I guess. So, in my dearest, the most clearest answer, how great is iOS 12.4.2? I'd say a 7 out of 10. Since, I'm pretty nostalgic for those times, even though I didn't use iOS 12 at all in my entire life. So this is like a kind of new experience for me too. I kind of like how simple it is. This is where like most modern memes come from, those like new text messages that you like see on your YouTube Shorts feed. Yeah. So like everything else works. But in the background, I've not only been messing around with my iPhone. You may see that it is off. And if I turn it on, it's gonna be on the recovery screen, because that's how Tethered boot works. Well, I did save everything that is meant to like boot the thing. I mean, okay, I did not just save the PT block. Who am I, a stupid person? I saved anything that was like needed in the Turtis Marula thing. including the SHC block, the other image 4 thing, everything. So basically, right now, what I'm doing is, yeah, I got a bit too cocky. I'm sorry, but Ventura, I was having a bit too much fun on it. I went on the App Store and saw that GarageBand wasn't supported on Ventura anymore, which I thought it would, but no, they didn't. They don't support it anymore. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna get Sonoma. So I updated my EFI and everything, okay? You may think it worked and everything. Well, take a look at what I am in right now. Take a look at that broken ass Tahoe. It's very hard to do stuff like this. I'm gonna be installing iOS 10.3.3 on this thing. So basically, I'm just gonna get iOS 10.3.3 once I'm done installing Tahoe, of course. So yeah, I'm back, and yeah, all I can say is that I was fondling with macOS this entire time. Tahoe didn't want to install, so I had to go back to Ventura. Yay! But with that out of the way, you know, as I've said before, iOS 12 is great and all, but you know, it's just, yeah, Subway Surfers works. YouTube does not. You need to use the website. Twitter also does not work. Discord does. Instagram does. Spotify does. Snapchat does. And all these, you know, I did. So actually, yeah, iOS 12 is great and all, but like, you know, that's not what I was aiming for. Now, when I looked up the serial number for this phone specifically, the decoder told me that the oldest iOS this thing can handle, according to its manufacture date, was iOS 12.0. See why I tried iOS 12.4.2? I'm kind of scared right now, because trying that 10.3.3 kind of scares me. Number one, this is why I also saved the blobs. Number two, this is why I also tried iOS 12.4.2 to see how old iOS actually is. But we can go even lower if we want. Now you might be saying, oh well, you have an iPhone 4S, you can just use iOS 9 on it. No, that makes iOS 9 look bad. Alright, now that we have the code word out of the way, we can start fucking around. So you see my screen capture, right? You know, everything's good. I've got Logic Pro, I'd say. I'm not gonna let you sit there and just watch me do Logic Pro. Anyway, alright, let's do this. Also, don't worry about the file names I have. I'm just really immature sometimes, okay? And would ya look at that? Okay, let's set it up real quick and I'll try it out off camera. Hey, I'm back. So, this phone is pretty good. You may think, oh, that's iOS 9. He lied to us. This is iOS 10.3.3. So I've tested these apps and they all work fine. I even made a TikTok using only this phone on this software, and it fully uploaded. Unfortunately, TikTok effects don't work. Some stuff in Instagram doesn't work. Discord did crash with trying to view profiles and stuff. So it's not all that great. But hey, still got the old control center. Anyway, thank you all for watching this whole journey. I'm gonna have to edit this now. You don't know how involved editing really is. I had to spend days making this whole video, and now I have to spend like a whole last day editing it. Then I have to like spend hours uploading it. This is gonna be a long video. I was I'm coming for you off camera. Wait, no, I didn't mean it like that.